Hi, I'm Kirk Agus with Federal Educators, and welcome to the Federal Employee Benefits Show. Our experience in working with federal employees has taught us that no one solution is right for every situation. In today's show, we will help answer the most common questions we receive every day. How will I retire, and when am I eligible to retire? What is MRA? What year would you like to retire? How do I calculate my FERS or CSRS annuity? What is the best cost of the survivor benefit? What happens to FEGLI when I retire? What should I do with my TSP? Should I buy back military time? When should I elect Social Security? Should I roll my TSP to an IRA? What about Roth or traditional IRAs? We understand your benefits, its strengths, and its weakness, and we know how to help you get the most from your retirement plan. This show is to help educate you on your federal benefits and help you take full advantage of all that your federal benefits have to offer. When it comes to your federal employee benefits, what you don't know can hurt you. So sit back and take some notes. All of this and more on the Federal Employee Benefits Show, and it starts right now. We were just discussing during the break a lot of the most common questions we receive from federal employees when they come in, one of which happens to be about TSP. We get this a lot because many federal employees don't realize that even while they're working, they can actually separate their TSP at the age of 59 and a half.
I'm going to talk to you today about nobody's favorite topic, divorce.
Well, I'm excited to talk a little bit about federal benefits. We've been talking about this with you guys, and one of my first questions here is there's been a long misunderstanding about how annual and sick leave gets paid out upon retirement. Can you talk a little bit about that? How does it work? Clear up any confusion for us?
Coming up next on the Federal Employee Benefits Show, the Roundtable segment.
Welcome back to the Federal Benefits Show alongside Bobby and Chris Maggie. I'm Kirk Agus, and we were just discussing during the break a lot of the most common questions we receive from federal employees when they come in, one of which happens to be about TSP. We get this a lot because many federal employees don't realize that even while they're working, they can actually separate their TSP at the age of 59 and a half.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and that's an option that all federal employees have, is they can do what they call an age-based withdrawal. So while you're working, you have the ability to transfer money from your TSP and you can roll it over, it's a non-taxable event, into an IRA, and you can keep your TSP open, keep contributing, keep the match going, and then separate to create like bucket planning. Because when you put together like a financial plan, you want to have income buckets, growth buckets, maybe a bucket that you want to have active management, or a different purpose with your investments. So you have the ability to do those things.
And I think the main misconception that we hear people is that if they do the in-service distribution at 59 and a half, they close their account out. And what Chris just mentioned now, you can still put your money in and the federal government will still match that 5% in the IRA. And they don't know that. They think it's taken out and it's gone. The key there, though, is not a taxable event. And that's the other concern that most people have, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take it out and it's going to be taxed. And that's where we do the tax planning. And many federal employees don't get that. Yeah,
we get it a lot. We'll meet with someone that's 66, 67, 68, and they say, gosh, I wish I knew this. Yeah. That at 59 and a half, I could have actually separated. You still get some that, maybe are a little apprehensive because they're not sure, the benefits behind doing something like that.
Exactly, and that's why when you meet with the right advisor who does like complete planning, it might be an income planning design, tax planning, an investment plan. So it might make sense to generate another income stream. So by separating your TSP, it could be an option for you to have more guaranteed income stream, because we talk about the FERS pension and they get Social Security. And then the TSP, you can create a bucket of that to generate another income stream. So you have 3 guaranteed income streams coming in the front door every month.
And one of the things that you also mentioned, they only have 5 choices where they can put their money. And what we see, a lot of the federal employees don't even understand what the funds are until we sit down and explain it to them. And then mentioning what you mentioned, if you roll it to an IRA, you have more choices, and bucket planning, like Chris is talking about, gives them more income down the road and better choices.
So regardless, even if someone keeps it in the TSP or they separate it, the contribution limits, they change every year. There's different TSP rules and regulations that are happening every year.
That's right. So they change and the limits increase. So if you're over age 50, you can put, it's called catch-up. So you can put more money into the retirement plan. So that's why it's important every year to stay updated with those numbers and meet with the right advisor who can educate you so you can contribute what you can to your retirement plan so you can have more in the future.
One more thing on that, a lot of the federal employees don't realize they can put that money into the Roth TSP. And the difference there is the Roth TSP doesn't have a matching, contribution. But the whole thing, it's all tax-free. And they can split it, some in the traditional and some in the Roth, and they don't know that. So it's important to talk about that.
I'm amazed still, a lot of federal employees that even I speak with, and I know when you guys are talking to them, who still to this day don't realize that a Roth option in the TSP is even available to them.
That's right.
And they look back and think, gosh, boy, if I knew that too many years ago, I could have been building a tax-free account inside
But they're so
TSP.
busy working, they don't get the help from OPM or from the advisor. That's the real reason. And when we do educate them, as you know, both of you know, they sit back and they're kind of offended, like, why didn't anybody tell me? So when you work with us, we do the federal benefits analysis to show them what the advantage is to move that money, and it's very simple. You do it on the phone, pretty much, to move the money.
Yeah, you can do it right online because the website, the TSP website is equipped to do all this. And we can help you get through it so there's no taxable event. And you want to definitely make sure that if you have your before tax money in the TSP, as you mentioned, there's the Roth TSP too. So you want to separate those two accounts because you don't want to make it the IRA money in the Roth accounts because then you'll create a taxable event. So it's so important to work with the right advisor to make sure that they can take care of that the right way.
Yeah, because sorry, Bobby, because
That's
some
all right.
folks, trying to do it on their own, and this has happened.
Yeah.
We've seen this scenario where they take the distribution, they send it to themselves, right? Instead of creating the IRA, opening up the account with the advisor and sending it over, from custodian to custodian, and they take that distribution and it sits in their account and it creates what?
Taxable events, yeah.
Which you don't want to do. So taking a tax approach and what we do at our firm here, we want to avoid all that, right? So
And that's
puts you in
why
a
we're
better
doing this show,
Yeah.
because if you have questions, you have to ask. But we run the report to show you, before you make a decision, let's make the right decision. So,
Another part about the TSP that we get is confusion on clients think that their TSP is their pension. And that's not the case. And I mean, you have a story that goes back, when all this began in federal with the confusion from a postal office worker.
That's right. A gentleman came in and he said, I'm going to retire. I got my Social Security coming in because he was a FERS employee, and he's got his TSP. And he didn't realize that the FERS annuity that he's going to get is guaranteed income. It's his pension. So he had the misconception. So when we showed him that your TSP is not your FERS annuity pension, it was more of like an eye-opening experience for him. He said, oh my gosh, I could have retired a couple years ago if I knew that there was 3 income streams that I could have guaranteed income
and the
from.
funny thing about it, all federal employees are told they have a 3-legged stool: the TSP, Social Security, and the pension. So when we did it with that gentleman from the post office, his wife was adamant, like, no, he doesn't get a pension. And all we told him was go back and ask your supervisor. And the next day she called up and apologized because she wanted him to retire. And once we put that whole thing together, it was a different picture.
Right.
So education's so important.
Oh, it is. So again, a lot of people think TSP is my pension. Then they realize, no, TSP is TSP.
Yeah.
You still have a pension. And as you talked about, Social Security.
Yeah.
You got these 3 different streams that are coming in. So that's really good. But no, great discussion on TSP. There's a lot of hot topics that we get from clients that come in all the time. I think, briefly, the TSP Modernization Act came about a few years ago because one last question that I wanted to cover here on TSP is how many times can you separate the money from TSP to an IRA?
Years ago, it was one time. Now you can do it as often as you would like. So there's a lot of options you can do. It's so important to get the right advice, meet with the right advisor. And as a federal consultant, we specialize in federal benefits. So meet with us and we can definitely help you out.
For sure. Great discussion on TSP today. We love doing these little roundtable discussions. Another hot topic next week. We appreciate that. Stay with us through the break. More with the Federal Benefits Show coming right up. Hi, I'm Kirk Agus with Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. Want to know how much your FERS pension will be? How about when you can retire? At Federal Educators, we've specialized in federal employee benefits for over 2 decades. Schedule your free benefits analysis with us today. Clearly understanding your benefits, such as how and when to take distributions, is critical. Our benefits analysis will cost you nothing. Not taking it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. We look forward to speaking with you.
Hi, I'm Chris Maggie, owner of Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. Want to know how much your FERS pension will be? How about when you can retire? At Federal Educators, we specialized in federal employee benefits for over 2 decades. Schedule your free benefits analysis with us today. Clearly understanding your benefits, such as how and when to take distributions, is critical. Our benefit analysis will cost you nothing. Not taking it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. We look forward to speaking with you.
Hi, I'm Bobby Maggie, owner of Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. How much will you receive in your pension? How much does the survivor benefit cost? Can you keep your health insurance in retirement? With a free benefits analysis, we will answer all these questions and more. As a federal employee, it's critical to have a clear understanding to maximize your benefits. From FERS, retirement, to Social Security and health insurance, our team at Federal Educators specializes in knowing your benefits. Schedule your free benefits analysis today.
Coming up next is the topic segment on the Federal Employee Benefits Show.
Hi, I'm Bobby Maggie, and thank you for joining us today at Federal Educators. At Federal Educators, we strive to be a great resource for understanding how to plan for retirement and learning about available benefits and options. Each of us have earned a Federal Retirement Consultant designation that signifies our depth of knowledge and expertise in federal benefits. Call us at 813-491-1786 or go online to federaleducators.com to get in touch with us today to help you understand your FERS or CSRS benefits. I'm going to talk to you today about nobody's favorite topic, divorce, and how a divorce can affect your federal benefits. If you are a federal employee going through a divorce or have recently experienced one, your federal benefits might take a considerable hit. Before that divorce, the state might have provided your spouse certain benefits to protect their rights. The spouse is no longer eligible for federal employee benefits after the divorce. In the worst-case scenario, your spouse can file a court order to receive the benefits. If you wonder whether a divorce will affect your benefits, speaking to a divorce attorney and becoming familiar with the laws is the best course of action. Feel free to contact us at 813-491-1786 if you have any questions or would like to receive a personalized federal benefits analysis that will highlight all of your federal benefits, and it's free and no cost or obligation. Here are some factors that you should consider when dealing with a divorce. Number 1, annuity payments. For federal employees, benefits are provided in 3 different categories. These include Social Security benefits, basic benefits, and TSP, which is also your thrift savings plan. Now keep in mind that after retirement, federal employees will receive these payments every month. A divorce might affect federal benefits if the federal employee's spouse requests annuity payments in court, which means the federal employee might be required to provide a portion of these payments to the spouse. Number 2, health benefits. After a divorce, spouses of federal employees cannot, I repeat, cannot get health coverage under the federal employees plan. They might be covered before the divorce, but once a divorce occurs, these benefits are nullified for the spouse. and there is no provision to regain the benefits in court. After a divorce, the spouse must file for temporary coverage or find another health plan. Number 3, life insurance. Federal employees and their family members often enroll in life insurance through FEGLI, which is the Federal Employee Group Life Insurance Program. After a divorce, the federal employee needs to assign the coverage to their spouse or name them as beneficiary if they want their spouse to continue receiving the benefits. Number 4, survivor benefits. For a spouse to receive survivor benefits after they have been divorced and the federal employee passes away, they need to prove that a survivor annuity exists in their divorce. Without that, an ex-spouse cannot receive survivor benefits. Number 5, resignation. Resigning as a federal employee may leave you filing for a refund of contributions. These are your retirement contributions in the civil service retirement system. And in some cases, the authorities may transfer the amount to an ex-spouse. Understanding how a divorce can affect federal benefits might be complicated, and there are many provisions that an ex-spouse can use in court to further their case, which is why you need an experienced attorney to help you through it all. The federal retirement process can be complex, and it's so important to assess accurate information from knowledgeable sources. At Federal Educators, we strive to be a great resource for understanding how to plan for retirement and learning about available benefits and options. Call 813-491-1786 to speak with Federal Educators, a firm that provides divorce attorneys with the best knowledge and communication skills. Learn more about how federal benefits are affected during a divorce and get the upper hand in court. And remember, knowledge is power. Remember to use it wisely and trust our legal team to help you stay up to date with everything you need to know. Stay tuned for more from Federal Educators. Hi, I'm Bobby Maggie, owner of Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. Do you want to know how much your FERS pension will be? How about when can you retire? At Federal Educators, we've specialized in federal employee benefits for over 2 decades. Schedule your free benefits analysis with us today. Clearly understanding your benefits, such as how and when to take distributions, is critical. Our benefits analysis will cost you nothing. Not taking it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. We look forward to speaking with you.
Hi, I'm Kirk Agus with Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. How much will you receive in your pension? How much does the survivor benefit cost? Can you keep your health insurance in retirement? With a free benefits analysis, we will answer all these questions and more. As a federal employee, it's critical to have a clear understanding to maximize your benefits. From FERS retirement to Social Security and health insurance, our team at Federal Educators specializes in knowing your benefits. Schedule your free benefits analysis today.
Hi, I'm Chris Maggie, owner of Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. Want to know how much your FERS pension will be? How about when you can retire? At Federal Educators, we specialized in federal employee benefits for over 2 decades. Schedule your free benefits analysis with us today. Clearly understanding your benefits, such as how and when to take distributions, is critical. Our benefit analysis will cost you nothing. Not taking it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. We look forward to speaking with you.
Coming up next on the Federal Employee Benefits Show, the Q&A segment.
Welcome back to the Federal Educators Show. I'm Christina Walsh, and joining me today are Chris Maggie and Kirk Agus. Thank you both for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I'm excited to talk a little bit about federal benefits. We've been talking about this with you guys, and one of my first questions here is there's been a long misunderstanding about how annual and sick leave gets paid out upon retirement. Can you talk a little bit about that? How does it work? Clear up any confusion for us?
Sure. Well, annual leave is paid out when you retire. So a lot of people ask us, when should you retire? We tell people if you're a FERS employee, you should retire the last day of the month. And then what happens is your annual leave, within 30 days, that's what's paid out. So it's like a lump sum, it's all taxable money. But your sick leave, though, we can talk about that.
Yeah,
Kurt.
that gets added to your service time. So there's a lot of confusion there because some folks think that they're going to lose their annual. And then when they find out, just like Chris said, no, you actually get that in a separate lump sum paycheck, fully taxable, 30 days after you retire. But the sick time, and that's another misconception, they think they're going to lose that. Right. And I say, well, if you have a balance left over, what it'll do is it'll get added to your service time. So the more service time you have will actually help increase your pension, because when you use your high 3 in your service time, that's the 2 factors used to create what type of pension you're going to receive. So you don't lose either benefit, you just get it in different times.
That's right. And on the OPM website, there's a whole calculation chart of what your sick leave hours equate to. So say, for an example, you had 100 hours of sick leave, that could be 3 months and 2 days of service time. So if you had 20 years of service time, we talked about this earlier on a couple of the shows, is the credible service and also the high 3. Well, that's used to calculate your pension amount. So say someone had 20 years and then they had 3 months of sick leave, they really have 20 years and 3 months of service, which is a higher payout on your high 3, which means more income for you.
Yeah, it could actually even push someone over the 20-year mark.
That's right.
Go the opposite way. You could be short of 20 years, and maybe they want to get to 60 and 20 or 62 and 20 and get on a different scale, and it can help push them over the top. And we've seen clients come in, they've had 20 hours of sick time. We've seen clients with 900 plus hours of sick time. I don't know if they ever take a day off, but
Federal employees, they're always working.
it's a different benefit. So you don't lose either benefit, it's just paid out to you in different factors.
In different ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, there are a lot of things to consider when you're determining when the right time to retire is. And there's retirement concerns that we hear about for anybody. Are those the same retirement concerns that you're seeing with your federal employee clients, or do they have different retirement concerns to consider?
Man.
I think they're one and the same, to be honest with you. When you're working with federal, you're dealing with their TSP. You got someone that's not federal, they have a 401k. So they work, the same way. They have contribution limits that work the same way. But we do get a lot of the same questions. And again, bottom line is it's about education. For federal employees, they unfortunately just don't get the education that one would think they would with all the different benefits that they have coming in as a federal employee. Right. And that's where, we're happy to help provide that level of education.
And it's not only federal benefits. See, we specialize in federal benefits. We understand their benefits, so we can help them. But there's way more than that. Sure. There's complete planning. So there's income planning, there's tax planning, there's investment planning, there's Social Security maximization. When's the best time to take Social Security? Right. There's Medicare planning. There's estate tax and estate planning that you can do. So we do complete planning at our firm, and that's why we specialize in giving you the amount of money that's income on the most tax-efficient way, and how do you transfer all those assets to your beneficiaries, and how do you maximize your federal benefits?
Sure.
So, my gosh, there's so much there to talk about. That's why when you come in to meet with us, we can definitely sit down with you.
Yeah, same concerns, different considerations, it sounds like.
Got it.
So let's talk a little bit about Medicare. You mentioned Medicare. That is something that a lot of people know about, but with federal employees, they have FEHB. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about how, or would someone enroll in Medicare if they have FEHB? What is FEHB?
Great
Tell me a little
question.
bit about it.
That's one of the more confusing elements, I think, for federal employees. Everyone at 65 gets Medicare Part A automatically, right? That's hospital. So that's what you pay in, while you're working. B is doctors. That's where the FEHB comes in. That's your medical coverage. As long as you have that, it's considered credible coverage. So you do not need Medicare Part B. Now, one could elect it. It's double coverage. If you're working, the FEHB is primary. The Medicare would be secondary. But there's really no reason, no major benefit, honestly, for someone to do both, because you could actually be paying more for Medicare Part B because of IRMA.
That's exactly right. That's a special tax, the tax that no one really wants to talk about, because if you make too much income, then your Part B is affected. So that's why it's a lot to talk about. Every situation is different. It's personalized, what we call it, individualized. That's why the personalized benefits analysis is so important. Yeah. So when you come in, you bring in your leave and earnings statement, your TSP statement, last year's tax return, and your Social Security statement, and we can run that for you. And it'll show you exactly when to retire, what your numbers are going to be, if you're subject to the penalty or not. So all these good things that we can do for federal employees.
But what's so great about the FEHB, Christina, is that as a federal employee, you can keep that in retirement. It's one of the great benefits, whether it's just for yourself or if you have a spouse and you want to keep your spouse on it. You have to elect a survivor benefit on your pension to make sure that they keep it. But you don't even have to elect Medicare Part B in retirement because you have that credible coverage, and that can stay with you to the end of your time.
That's great. Well, you guys have certainly educated me a lot about the retirement considerations that we should be thinking about. Thank you for joining me today. And thank you for joining us. We will be back with more of the Federal Educators Show after this.
Hi, I'm Kirk Agus with Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. Want to know how much your FERS pension will be? How about when you can retire? At Federal Educators, we've specialized in federal employee benefits for over 2 decades. Schedule your free benefits analysis with us today. Clearly understanding your benefits, such as how and when to take distributions, is critical. Our benefits analysis will cost you nothing. Not taking it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. We look forward to speaking with you.
Hi, I'm Chris Maggie, owner of Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. How much will you receive in your pension? How much does the survivor benefit cost? Can you keep your health insurance in retirement? With the free benefits analysis, we will answer all these questions and much more. As a federal employee, it's critical to have a clear understanding to maximize your benefits. From FERS retirement to Social Security and health insurance, our team at Federal Educators specializes in knowing your benefits. Schedule your free benefits analysis today.
Hi, I'm Bobby Maggie, owner of Federal Educators, a company dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. Do you want to know how much your FERS pension will be? How about when can you retire? At Federal Educators, we've specialized in federal employee benefits for over 2 decades. Schedule your free benefits analysis with us today. Clearly understanding your benefits, such as how and when to take distributions, is critical. Our benefits analysis will cost you nothing. Not taking it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. We look forward to speaking with you.
Thank you for watching the Federal Employee Benefits Show. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Our goal each and every week is to help you better understand the retirement language so you know when to retire and know if you can retire. Make sure to tune in next week as we continue discussing all your federal benefits. Retirement may be more within your reach than you actually think. Request your free benefits analysis so you can understand all your federal benefits. Visit us online at federaleducators.com. That's all we have for today, and we look forward to seeing you here again next week.